design is one of many ways you can make a story or an idea palatable.
It's not just visual, it's user experience. Just making sure everything is organized in a way that makes sense. That's almost more important than what it looks like.
What the brand does is it really provides a voice and emotion to it, where you know the character of the thing you're interacting with. And in a crowded market space like we have, it can differentiate item A from item B.
It is the language of making people feel good about what they're interacting with.
Good design allows the content to be the star, but good design is also beautiful.
I think maybe the most intimidating part about starting a new website is trying to come up with a name because everything's taken. Fun test. Imagine the stupidest name for a website and look for it on the web and it's probably taken.
Screenplay, I guess. You play games on a screen, but it's a thing that people do for movies.
We had this kind of like prolonged process where we spent months trying to come up with name ideas that would be available, which included some stupid ones.
Intergamement. Which we did not go with intergamement because it's so f***ing stupid.
We got to some pretty desperate points in terms of naming the sites because Panda Suplex became a legitimate concern.
How far did we get in the branding of Panda Suplex?
This is not a joke. There were discussions.
There were discussions, and I believe I created a mock logo. So that's how close.
I'm gonna overstate it, but I think branding is like the thing right now in terms of being just an entity online.
Justin and I actually used this book here, the video game style guide and reference manual. So we went through this almost word by word in like, how about bootup.com? How's that? No? All right. But we got here, we got to page P, which was on page 51, Polygon. You know, it's like high school sweetheart. Once you find it, every other name paled in comparison. Everyone we found that was halfway decent was terrible compared to Polygon. What ended up happening is somebody owned it, and they wanted a lot of money for it.
Basically knocked us off our chairs with the most ridiculous demand that we'd ever heard, all about how we were all going to be in partnership together essentially forever.
I mean, I'm sure on subconscious level, why we were so obsessed with it is because it means something to us already.
And so we kept going back to Lauren and saying like, sorry, we don't have anything else, like we have to get Polygon. And we ended up getting it. We ended up getting it for less than we thought, which was, I'll give all credit there to Lauren. Pretty cool, huh? Makes sense that we kept some of that inspiration.
I'm up in New York to meet with Chris Grant, and we're going to be showing off Polygon thus far at the Verge all hands meeting. I applied to Vox because I was a huge fan of the Verge, and I found out that they had a lead designer position, so I applied. And then Ted told me that I was going to lead the charge on Polygon. I was like, so how far along is it? And he's like, it's not. I was like, all right.
I think one of the interesting challenges, you know, for Brent in particular is, you know, this wasn't his vision. So for him, it's now, okay, can you take someone else's direction and then guide it through completion?
That nav, man, I think we finally nailed it. Being able to jump to anywhere from anywhere in the same way across devices was a really good.
Functionally, I'm sold.
I'm still feeling like it needs a little visual.
Yeah, it needs to feel better. It needs to look better.
There's stuff I think that I can immediately respond to. My problem is I might have a difficult time explaining why. It's not very helpful to say like, that's not good. Well, what's not good about it? It's ugly and it doesn't work right. You know, like.
I just think it's worth maybe looking into as we buy ourselves more time. You know.
Are we though?
We're buying ourselves lots of time.
Are we?
Yeah, dude.
We're in a polishing phase, man.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I saw your navigation in action.
Oh yeah, do you like it?
Yeah, I do.
I think
pretty tight.
It needs visual work.
The sites starting to look really good. Like, you know, selfishly, every time I see it, all I think about is like the things that you have that we don't. But like, I'm very excited about it. I'm also very jealous. I'm also excited.
There's a
I'm
lot of
a mixture of excited, jealous, and excited.
I'd love to, once we get a little closer, sit down and like walk you through all the stuff we did, because a lot of what we did was like, let's not mess with what the Verge did really well too much.
Right.
Like, it's already great. Like, there's no reason for us to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, we can create like some sort of widget, and then since this is all vector-based and InDesign has a lot of resizing logic already built into it, we get to build these things really quickly and see how they scale across devices.
That would actually flow like this is comforting. I hope we get
So what's going to happen to the Verge now that we're about to launch this crazy stuff?
We're gonna really ramp up our video game coverage and take you guys out.
I do remember once we locked down Polygon, Chris had hired a few artists to do comps of what the logo should look like.
We found 3 designers to work with. Chris ended up going with CORY SCHMITZ's direction.
And right away, like the samples he turned in were all so consistently strong. I mean, he really got it the first time. You know, the font placement, the orientation, the sort of like simplicity of it. So once we identified that, and that was like a core design theme, it became a lot easier to explain to our designers when they built the site, like, you know, what we wanted it to kind of feel like.
The best design is made from constraints. Every designer, you know, I've ever worked with wants to know, sort of, sit down, what's my canvas? How much space do I have? What are the things that are gonna have to be on the page?
So, hi, I thought I knew most of you, but I don't think that's true anymore. So, hello. This is Brent. Brent's making a lot of this website.
Hi.
I can't stand there. I'll stand over here. Okay, so we're making a website. It'll be done in October, and then we can get off your couch. Thanks for the hospitality.
Design lead. It's not like I'm not controlling the vision. Like what we came up with didn't come out of my head. It's a collective effort. I have kind of a top-down view of everything, just ensuring that everything's coming together consistently. We keep noticing design inconsistencies in markup. Our visual treatments are kind of all over the place, so let's go through what we've noticed and try to reel everything in.
Some of these small changes have been, really big, like fundamental markup changes. It can be a lot of work. Like, Jake's been on this stuff for a long time, and it's not, he's not like wasting his time or anything. It's hard work. It takes a lot of time. Yeah.
So some of the earliest stuff we designed is the stuff that needs the most updating. So article pages, for example, were early. And there's a lot of stuff structurally that works really great on article pages, but there's a lot of stuff that design-wise looks like shit.
Getting it into the hands of people is something I'm really worried about. It's nerve-wracking. Gamers are a notoriously opinionated bunch. I think we have a really good punch list of things that need to be revised and polished, so good job.
Great job.
Great job.
Great job.
We have 37 days left to polish it up, so let's do as much as we can without pissing off our developers. So I think we're all kind of apprehensive about this, but I'm feeling good.
People don't know what they want until you present it to them. It's great to make a website, it's great to make a website that works, but it's also great to dream a little bit and to think about what could it be that you're not expecting that could just kind of really satisfy you in a way that you never thought was imaginable.
So the idea of this call is kind of going over advertising treatments. It should be organic to the site and not totally disruptive.
But why can't this be an advertising and then this one just goes
Because it'll look
further
like
down?
shit. That's what I'm saying.